Good morning and welcome to today's edition of TVC Breakfast. My name is Etoma Edu.
And good morning, Nigeria. Welcome, welcome. It's always amazing to have you join us every morning. Your company. When we have you, we're so excited. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a lot to talk about on the show this morning. You know how we do it. I am Ria Abdul. Welcome to our show.
Indeed, Nigeria, you heard them. It's time for breakfast. And per usual, we've got a very big and interesting spread for you this morning. You're very welcome. My name is Olamide Odekunle.
I don't know why you guys didn't remember to say thank God it's Friday. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day and we are having an exciting moment from morning till Mama's call today in TVC. I'm Ibrahim Shita, but then we're here to give you all the information you deserve to know first. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you guys.
Amazing. Good to see you all.
You know, when you allow me to say today we have a beautiful spread, you get me hungry.
But, you know,
we're always hungry.
And that's why you see with this little biscuit. But anyway, today is going to be very exciting. Because there's a lot of things that will happen today. But of course, we need to give you the news first. The news is very important. But just after that, we're going to have a lot of fun here at TVC. But even apart from that, you know, after this Friday, we're entering Christmas.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exciting. It's almost
It's
here
and
already.
today is TVC's Christmas party. And Ibrahim, if you guys don't know, has been voted the cutest guy in the whole office.
Oh, really?
You didn't know that?
Oh, congrats, Ibrahim.
I voted.
Oh, really?
I voted.
Oh, nice.
Oh, today the award will be given.
That's so kind of you.
Oh, amazing.
And our CEO, she does it big. If you see what's going on downstairs.
She doesn't joke. But before we even start what we're going to be doing here today, I just want to say a very big congratulations to BKO. I wasn't on set yesterday, so I couldn't congratulate him. You know I love you so much. You're the best man for the job, and I know that right about now, the news is about to be bombs, about to be fire. All right, now we will begin the show. Let me just give you a rundown of what we will be discussing. There's a lot to talk about, like I always say. We'll start with banter, where we'll talk about the budget, and then we will go to the newspaper review, where Ibrahim will give us all the headlines from the newspaper, very important conversations. And then we have an interview that you need to draw close to your TV and listen. We're talking about how to be safe this very beautiful Christmas period. And then in Abuja, the FCT brief, we will also talk about the oil war that has been going on. We'll come back to Lagos, where the beautiful Olamide will take us through everything that has been trending in the world of social media. So as you see, it's a very packed and interesting show. Make sure you grab your cup of coffee and let's have a good one. Now we'll start with the story where President Bola Tinubu is expected to present the 2026 Appropriation Bill to a joint session of the National Assembly later today. Now, this was conveyed in a letter addressed to the President of the Senate and read during Thursday's plenary session. Now, the Senate also received the President's request for the confirmation of new chief executives for 2 key petroleum regulatory agencies, while lawmakers confirmed 64 ambassadorial nominees amid concerns over compliance with the federal character principle. All right, so these are the conversations that we're going to be having, Etoma. We're talking about the president giving a proposed budget. You know, we know how important this is because this is telling us how 2026 will be, how we'll spend in 2026, how we'll make more money in 2026. But like we're saying, this is a proposed budget. It's not already a done deal. They're still going to go through it and, you know, have discussions. But I'm hoping that we have a lot of allocations. Okay, so before we continue, we have a package from TJ Suadeoye. We'll just take that package, and when we come back, we have this very vital conversation. Stay with us.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally notified the National Assembly of his intention to present the 2026 Appropriation Bill to a joint sitting of the legislature on Friday. The notification contained in a letter addressed to the President of the Senate was read during Thursday's plenary.
Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief will present the annual budget for year 2026 for the kind consideration of the National Assembly and particularly for the approval of the distinguished senators and honorary members on Friday, 19th December 2025 at 2 p.m. prompt.
At the same sitting, the President also sought Senate's confirmation of Orisemeyiwa Eyasan as the new Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to replace Gbenga Komolafe. Similarly, Engineer Saidu Aliu Muhammad was nominated as a Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority to replace Engineer Farouk Ahmed, who recently resigned.
The 2 letters are referred to the joint committees
Meanwhile, the Senate confirmed 64 ambassadorial nominees of President Tinubu, acting on the report and recommendations of the Senate's Committee on Foreign Affairs. However, some lawmakers raised concerns over the exclusion of states such as the Federal Capital Territory and Zamfara State, urging the president to ensure strict adherence to the federal character principle.
I would want us to draw the attention of Mr. President that Zamfara State needs his, we need also to be included in this ambassadorial nomination.
To the fact that FCT is supposed to be treated like a state, and we've always had an ambassador, and we're not included in this list.
Responding to the concerns, the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, assured lawmakers that their observations would be formally communicated to the president, noting that the list of the ambassadorial nominations has not been exhausted. Tijesu Adeoye, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, thank you so much, Tijesu. A very beautiful package, I must say. But, just before we took that package, we were speaking about the fact that, it's a proposed budget. Nothing has been cast a stone right now. It's just proposed. I'm hoping that, Etoma, we see a lot in terms of insecurity, which has really been plunging Nigeria.
Yes, for now, it's still a bill. That's why it's going to the National Assembly, and Mr. President will present that tomorrow. When the National Assembly goes through it, it now becomes an act, which is a full budget. I also am one of those that is hoping that security is given a pride of place in the budget proposal. I have not perused the budget proposal itself as it is to know the percentage and all that. But we are looking forward to a 2026 where insecurity will be tackled head on.
Yeah, and we're very hopeful, Olamide. We know that the president is going to be explaining, what monies will be used for, how much monies we're going to make, and all of that, how much debt we're going to be paying. And like Etoma has said, I said earlier on, we hope that we get a big chunk for insecurity, and not just insecurity, it needs to cut across as well. Education, the other things that we've been speaking about that have been disturbing Nigeria.
Absolutely. You just spoke about debt, and I believe debt servicing, about 30 to 40% of our revenue is going there in terms of recurrent expenditure that Mr. Shomi spoke about yesterday, which is very, very important. It's about 65% of our revenue, our budget is going towards that. For my young people watching back home, Appropriation Bill, you might distance yourself from news like this. Essentially, if you're watching back home, it's just basically the government telling us where their money comes from and how they plan to spend it. Essentially, without the Appropriation Bill, the government has no legal backing to spend Nigerian money because the word sounds big and it can be a bit confusing. Overall, I think that the president, presenting before a joint session, he's signaling confidence in this time of economic strain. And as some people might argue, reform fatigue. The government is saying, I'm in control of the money. I know where our money is going, and it's going to go to the right places. No better time than now when our pockets are being pinched.
Exactly, and Ibrahim will speak about debt. Oftentimes we always have the mind of borrowing, but then we had conversations, how will we pay back? So for 2026, I want to see a budget that we're not paying so much. We're rather using the money for infrastructure and for the betterment of Nigeria, especially looking at our, our hospitals, our federal hospitals.
Unfortunately, the projected 15.52 trillion naira for debt servicing actually represents a significant portion of the budget. So that's about 131% of revenue, which over the years we've been paying back, in debt servicing. But all the same, one thing that is very worrying is the budget rollover, because the 2026 budget is going to be featuring 70% of the unimplemented project from 2025.
Capital project rollover.
Exactly. So that's the people are now asking the question: is the renewed hope? Yes, the renewed hope agenda is working, but how fast is it working? Is it delivering? Based with the speed that it requires. But one thing you trying to talk to the Nigerian people who are watching us. It's not only for us to, because if you ask every Nigerian, we can reel out the budget of the federal government offhand. But what about the budgets of the local, the state government? State governors have been presenting budgets, months in, months out. And maybe most of us were not really looking at, okay, what figure is this state government, presenting, and how much do we think we can hold them to account? How many questions can we ask? But everyone is always talking about the federal government's budget, the federal government budget. So the federal government budget, which is now also pegged at, because they're also pushing for revenue, looking for other ways to generate revenue. But how much are we making when it comes to that revenue generation? Because most of these things are usually ambitious. So we should make everything, realistic in real time.
In real time. I totally agree with you, but for me, I'm always hammering on the fact that let's use monies for the right things. Oftentimes we hear of budgets, we hear of lofty amounts, but at the end of the day, we still see that we're rolling projects into another year. So I'm just hoping that these monies that we're going to be talking about, if they finally approve it, let it just be used for the right thing. If we know we're paying debts with some, let it be done. If we know we're using some for infrastructure, let it be done.
Let us also look at the reasons why we always have these budget rollovers. When we look at those reasons, we can now come up with solutions that will reduce that. 70% is a lot. That means for the whole of this year, we only achieve 30% of the budget, and it's worrisome. Another worrisome thing is the fact that the federal government is asking the National Assembly to approve a loan of 17.89 trillion. That is going to impact a whole lot on our debt servicing, and the projections are like 47%.
We can definitely go on and on about this, but at the end of the day, I will still say we want monies to be used for the right things, and it's going to happen at 2 p.m. So even the young ones, Gen Z, let's make sure we pay attention to this, because this is for Nigeria. The way we spend money is very, very important.